Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Salango Law. Get results, not excuses.
Meteorologist Joe Hansel here. Got you a forecast on your Monday, June 29th. Be mindful of some fog. Some patchy to widespread dense fog may affect the morning drive for some of you to start the day. Then I'll watch underneath the strong ridge, very strong ridge of high pressure, a heat dome. We'll have well above average heat and humidity through this week. We have a high of 82 yesterday, and that was 4 below average for that in Charleston. Now we'll be getting into some potentially near daily records later this week for temps, for highs and overnight warm lows. Today is likely dry for most of us. Around the mountains, there is a slight chance of a brief and isolated shower and thunderstorm. So some brief accumulating rain, a moderate to heavy shower can't be ruled out, but again, it's quite isolated and mostly around the mountains for today. Fly Super forecast, it starts at home. A lot of these cities have concerns with heat too through this week. Areas of the southern Great Lakes, Carolinas, mid-Atlantic, Northeast, we could tie or break some up to widespread temperature daily records out there later this week and into the holiday weekend. For northern areas, from Panhandle to Panhandle, we got upper 80s, low 90s potentially today, so approaching 90 degrees. Eastern areas, again, near the mountains, a slight chance of a brief isolated shower and storm today. Highs around the mid-80s, very little chance of rain for the eastern panhandle out there. From east to west here, Parkersburg got you at 90 today. We have some mid-80s to low 90s already in the forecast. And to the south, some mid-80s to low 90s in here as well. Huntington near 91 degrees. Charleston 97 Tuesday, 98 Wednesday, 97 Thursday. Higher heat index values are expected. Lows in those warm 70s. And then for mainly Friday, 4th of July and Sunday, I'll watch for some chances of showers and storms. Still quite warm to hot and humid. And I'll have to watch some thunderstorm potential for the holiday weekend.
This is Ben Salango with Salango Law. Salango Law has earned a reputation for getting excellent results for our clients. With decades of experience handling thousands of cases, we know what it takes to deliver. Proudly voted best in the Valley for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Charleston Gazette-Mail, Salango Law is deeply committed to giving back by investing in our community. From supporting local programs to making our region a better place to live, Salango Law is proud to be your trusted legal and community partner. Check us out at salangolaw.com.
We're watching the U.S. Supreme Court once again to start this week. It's going to be hot. We got the 4th of July coming. It's MetroNews Talkline. We are underway.
Do not attempt to change the station. You are surrounded. We interrupt this program to bring you an emergency news bulletin. Repeat, this is an emergency bulletin. Keep your radio turned on.
From the studios of WVRC Media and the MetroNews Radio and Television Network, the voice of West Virginia, comes the most powerful show in West Virginia. This is MetroNews Talkline with Dave Wilson and TJ Meadows.
Check set line uplink. Activated Telos telephone. Switch network control from Charleston to Morgantown.
Stand by. Cue Dave and TJ. You're on. MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
Welcome inside the Encova Insurance Studios. Say good morning to our great radio affiliates across the state of West Virginia, or if you're watching in on the MetroNews TV app, Facebook Live, YouTube, we appreciate that. Download the app to your mobile device or even your smart TV and watch all of our Metro News programming. Coming up later this morning, Scott MacFarlane stops by, Midas Touch, and reporting with Scott MacFarlane, he'll have an update from D.C. Fox News Radio's Jared Halpern, the latest on the Iranian negotiations. Also, keeping an eye on the U.S. Supreme Court. They just handed down one opinion involving mail-in ballots in Mississippi. We, of course, are waiting for the opinion on the BPJ case. So we'll keep an eye on that as the morning goes. And we will get your thoughts as the morning unfolds as well. 304-TALK-304, that is the text line, 800-765-8255. That is the phone number. Gang's all here except for one. TJ is taking a week of rest and relaxation at an undisclosed bunker somewhere. He'll be back a week from today. Otherwise, Jake on the video stream and Sophia is handling the audio side of things. More, trouble issues, controversy. It's always something in the latest episode of As the Greenbrier Turns. MetroNews statewide correspondent Brad McElhinny continues to cover that story for us. He's also keeping an eye on the U.S. Supreme Court as well. Brad, good morning.
Oh, hello and good morning. Yes, so in the last couple of weeks, I have learned from reporters who cover the Supreme Court on a regular basis to watch the box count. That apparently is the number of boxes that contain the hard copies of the opinions, and those on site receive their own copies. Today is a 2-box day, which apparently is fairly minimal. Two or three cases we're going to have released today.
So
probably not ours.
No, we would not. We could not get so lucky to get that case wrapped up. So are there 8 cases that are still hanging out there as of starting the day today? So maybe half today, maybe half tomorrow, perhaps? I mean, they got to be wrapping up, right?
I mean, tomorrow is the last day of the month. Theoretically, we would get them in by tomorrow, and the Supreme Court would go wherever they go. Martha's Vineyard.
I'll tell you this. I read a lot about birthright citizenship over the weekend. Did not read up on Mississippi mail-in balloting, so I'll have to read up on that later today, I guess.
While you're waiting in line for the world's tallest portable Ferris wheel, you can read up on it.
Yes. Yeah, well, we'll get to that. All right, Brad, in the latest edition of As the Greenbrier Turns, as I've deemed it, this does not actually involve the ownership in Omni, but does involve a very critical piece of the Greenbrier's business plan, and that's the casino license. Brad, what's going on?
Yeah. First, another opinion released by the court, again, not ours. The Greenbrier matter, though, is another issue that ideally would be resolved by the end of the month, by tomorrow. This is unrelated to the other issues that we've been talking about, unrelated to the Greenbrier's fight with the Omni hotel chain, although it all could get sloshed together. In this case, it's what should be a fairly routine renewal of the Greenbrier's casino license. That license is important. There's only, 5 casinos, a handful in West Virginia. The casino is both a moneymaker for the Greenbrier and for the state tax base. It is one of the things that you might do if you were at a convention or a family trip to the Greenbrier. So an important part of the allure of the historic resort. The West Virginia's other casinos, the ones at the racetracks, without any drama, were renewed on Friday by the State Lottery Commission. It really should be. There are things that you have to prove, hoops that you got to go through, matters of oversight, but with the others, no problem. And with the Greenbrier in the past, no problem. But the holdup here is that each of the casinos is responsible for providing financial information that then goes to an outside auditor to review. So they get an audit. And then finally, the Lottery Commission takes a look at those audit results. Well, the audit materials are due to the Lottery Commission and its staff by middle of March. It's been a couple of months. The Greenbrier, as of Friday, which was the day the Lottery Commission was signing off on these renewals, had not submitted its stuff. Steve Ruby, who is often a lawyer representing the Justice family, as well as the Greenbrier, said that there has been some financial personnel turnover at the Greenbrier that resulted in delays. He asked for either an extension or the ability to get that material ready by today. So right up against the wall, as if you'd gotten an extension on your homework. And the Greenbrier, as of Friday, got a non-renewal by the Lottery Commission, still has hope of getting the material ready today and the potential maybe tomorrow of an emergency meeting of the State Lottery Commission to make sure the Greenbrier doesn't go dark with the casino.
Brad, this in a silo, maybe not the biggest thing in the world. You have turnover. You're up against the clock. I get that. It's the death by 1,000 paper cuts with the Greenbrier. It is just another in a laundry list of issues, problems. Just the things keep piling up where the Greenbrier can't meet a deadline. there's something with the Justice Family Businesses where they miss a payment. It's this cumulative effect over time that makes you go, here we go again. And this is another one of those types of stories.
I have trouble understanding why you would, by a couple of months, tempt fate on missing a deadline on something that is so crucial, so core to your business. You know, not that you couldn't have missed the March 20th deadline or whatever, but if you did miss that, why then get all the way up to the renewal date? Another thing that doesn't really make sense to me is the loss of personnel who could handle your financial matters. If you'll recall, the Greenbrier right now also is under consideration for a $500 million loan by a new lender. So maybe there are, you know, different areas of personnel. I don't exactly know, but there are significant financial matters at hand with the Greenbrier that they seem to be moving through. And I don't know why you wouldn't have the personnel to do it. Very confusing to me.
Right.
Finally, I told you that this is not related to the stuff with Omni, but I think it's going to be. I mean, the Omni argument is that they have now more than $300 million in Greenbrier loans, and therefore the hotel and its associated properties represent their collateral. They have made an argument all along in federal court that the collateral is at risk. And I think this is going to be another new headline in their legal filings to try to make that case. Look, the Greenbrier can't even make the deadline on keeping its crucial lottery license.
MetroNews statewide correspondent Brad McElhinny. Brad, did the Lottery Commission, has it reached out to the Greenbrier officials, or is this a, get your homework turned in on time type of situation?
All of that. In the meeting on Friday, they described 6 to 8 times going back and forth with the Greenbrier since that March 20th early due date. And then again, Steve Ruby, who is the Charleston lawyer who often represents the justices and the Greenbrier, appeared before the Lottery Commission itself, live and in person. He did say something about this was new to him. In fairness, he's had a lot on his plate. And so this potentially could have been so fresh, potentially could have caught him a little bit by surprise. But there has been back and forth. And in the end, David Bradley, who is the acting director for West Virginia Lottery, said, look, we've got a state law that calls for this. And we wouldn't be having this discussion, he said, if the Greenbrier had just gotten its materials in on time.
You can read Brad's story over at the website, wvmetronews.com this morning. And I think we just got another case. Yeah, just got another one. Not the one we're looking for, Brad, from the U.S. Supreme Court today.
Talkline emergency over. All good.
Actually, Brad, maybe Talkline emergency begins. But we got 2 hours to fill here, my man.
You got to have guest after guest asking why. Please tell me the method of the Supreme Court madness.
The two cases that I prepped for, obviously the one that we have here in West Virginia, and I thought, birthright citizenship, that may come down Monday, so I spent some time I didn't read the 14th Amendment, Brad, but rereading the particulars of that case, and neither one of those happening today, so there goes that. We'll try again tomorrow.
A lot to look forward to tomorrow.
All right. MetroNews statewide correspondent Brad McElhinny. Read a story over at the website, wvmetronews.com. Brad, always appreciate your insights. Thank you very much, buddy.
Hey, thanks.
A lot of talk last week about public school funding. We heard the comments of Paul Hardesty. Amy Nicole Grady joined us, the senator from Mason County and the current chair of the Senate Education Committee. I wrote about it over at wvmetronews.com. We'll talk about it in a moment.
In West Virginia, community is everything. It's about showing up for each other. Vin Salengo and the team at Salengo Law don't just work here, they live here, proudly sponsoring local events and giving back to the neighborhoods they love. So when you're facing a serious injury, trust the local team that's always in your corner. They spent over 25 years fighting for West Virginia families. Salengo Law. Get results, not excuses. Visit us at salengolaw.com.
Hey, this is Brad Howe for your local internet provider, CityNet. Fiber is now at your front door and even in rural areas and communities across West Virginia. Thanks to broadband expansion funding, your tax dollars helped make it possible. And CityNet turned that investment into real connections for local families and businesses. Now, you can get blazing fast fiber internet with free installation, free equipment, no long-term contract, and local customer support that's always close to home. Don't settle for slow or no internet for another day. When it's high-speed internet you need, CityNet.net connects, protects, and perfects.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
For over 4 decades, we've been rooted deep inside West Virginia. Through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Proudly serving your neighborhood since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community.
The health plan. We are here for you.
The Monarch Compute Campus in Mason County is starting construction, and they're ready to hire. InScale, the company building the Monarch campus, is hosting a free job fair Tuesday, June 30th from noon to 7. It's at the former Mason County Armory on Ohio River Road. Employers, including Kiewit, Ames Construction, and Boyd Cat, will be on site recruiting for roles in construction and operations. Marshall, WVU, and Mount West will also be sharing information on training and degree programs. To pre-register, go to inscale.com. That's NSCALE.com. Walk-ins are welcome.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger
with
West
Metro
Virginia.
News Hotline.
The High Technology
If it's
Foundation
trendy,
has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
Sunshine, open roads, and a new Toyota from Dan Cava Toyota World. Lease an all-new Camry for as low as $398 a month. All new Tundras now up to $8,000 off. All new Tacomas now up to $4,500 off or lease as low as $399 a month. $7,500 off the new BZ or 0% financing for 72 months. We've got a Toyota for you at Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
Looking for a show that talks about everything? You found it.
By the way, I'm really happy to talk about this as opposed to Ryan's opinion that being a sports fan is a bad thing.
He said that it kept him from being stressed about it, not that it was a bad thing, that they didn't have the stress. And, I mean, I've seen you pace.
Yeah, you're only 30 and you look like that.
So true. So
Join Dave Weekly and Coop weekdays for Hotline on Metro News Television.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
Sorting through this all in real time, some opinions handed down from the U.S. Supreme Court today. One, the Supreme Court allowing states to count mail-in ballots that arrive late as long as they are postmarked by Election Day. That's the summary from Wall Street Journal, which that's the law here in West Virginia anyway. Some other opinions coming down. That was upholding Mississippi's. That was a Mississippi case, or a case out of Mississippi. Supreme Court rules Trump cannot proceed with the firing of Federal Reserve Board Governor Lisa Cook. Scott MacFarlane tweeting that out. He will join us coming up about 8 minutes from now. We'll talk to him about a number of things coming out of D.C., including the SAVE Act. Some strong words from Senator Tillis about the SAVE Act over the weekend. So it does not look like we will get anything on BPJ today. We'll try again tomorrow. We've been on court watch now for going on a month? I guess it's been really all of June, or at least 3 weeks of June. We've been waiting for that case to come down. Didn't get anything on birthright citizenship today either. Keep looking up, if you're watching on the video stream, keep looking up at the news feeds to my immediate left. But did not get anything on birthright citizenship today either. And again, without having read these cases, for those who like to criticize the court as just rubber stamping the Donald Trump administration, there were a couple of losses in there today. A couple of losses ruling against the administration. We'll get into that much more deeply a little bit later on. 304-TALK, 304 is the text line, 800-765-8255. That is the phone number. Over at WVMetroNews.com this morning, wrote a commentary just based off our discussion last week involving public education and Paul Hardesty, the president of the state school board. I said, look, if the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, he must be on the precipice of losing his mind, because Paul Hardesty has been at the forefront for going on a couple of years now, urging lawmakers to address how we fund public schools, because we have the school aid formula, we have a mountain of regulations that govern the public school system, and we continue to talk about it needs to be fixed. It needs to be fixed. But go back to the last 60-day legislative session, there was little discussion about actually changing the school aid formula. There was little discussion about removing regulations. And really, by the time the session ended, nothing got done. Senator Amy Nicole Grady, who was on the show with us last week, the chair of the Senate Education Committee, she has been shouting from the Capitol Rotunda for a couple of years that something needs to be done to address this. She's a public school teacher. She sees this on a daily basis. There was the Rand Corporation's report. The state spent over $100,000 to come up with an analysis of what needs to be done to address the public school system. Haven't implemented any of those recommendations. Montague County delegate and chair of the House Education Committee, Joe Statler, over on the other side, is trying to wrangle lawmakers together to address any number of things, including the school aid formula and this gap in special education funding. Now, I say all that and bring it up. You know all of this already. You've heard us talk about it. You heard Senator Grady talk about it last week. We played the sound from Paul Hardesty during the meeting. We've had him on the show multiple times. We continue to talk about this, but there seems to be a lack of what I call political fortitude to actually address the issue. The legislature can talk about it till it's blue in the face, but there doesn't seem to be anyone outside of Senator Grady and Delegate Statler trying to really pull this thing toward the finish line. And the executive branch has demonstrated through its actions that it does not have the political capital, or doesn't want to spend the political capital on addressing the public school system. Where did Governor Morrisey spend his political capital last year? It was to accelerate the implementation of the income tax reduction and elimination, which I'm all for. Don't get me wrong. West Virginia has a plan in place, triggers in place when the economy grows to continue to reduce and eventually eliminate the personal income tax. Great. But the governor chose to spend his political capital on accelerating that process through more income tax reductions and making certain there were no more changes to the Hope Scholarship. That's where he spent his political capital. Most of West Virginia students go to public schools, and we continue to see school closures. Some of that is needed. Some of that's been needed for more than a decade. Some of those have been propped up too long, and now we are seeing those issues come to fruition. That's hard. That's hard to take if it's your school. But also, we continue to see the cost of educating students, particularly special education students, grow. The number of special education students continue to grow. That now makes up 21% of the student population. And here we are having the same discussion over and over again. And as I said back on our discussion with the Capitol reporters, with Brad and Stephen and Amelia, 5 years ago, if you had told me that somebody was out to destroy the public education system, I totally would have balked at that. And I still balk at that to some degree. But are there those who want to see it struggle and want to prop up alternative education, charter schools, private schools, homeschooling as the better choice? Yeah, I do believe there are. I believe there are outside interest groups who have funded legislative campaigns who believe that and would want to see that. Our state legislature, House of Delegates members, members of the Senate, the governor have a constitutional duty, and I paraphrase the law, but to provide a free and efficient public education. They have a constitutional duty to do that. And are we doing that? Is the state doing that when these school systems, 55 school systems, are facing the financial struggles that they are facing? Now, there's some local responsibility there as well. We've talked about that a number of times. TJ talks about that a lot. There is a lot of local responsibility there, and that needs to be addressed as well. But is the state legislature living up to its constitutional duties if we continue to talk about the same problems over and over and over without actually addressing them? I don't think you are. I don't think you can say you're addressing your constitutional duties if we're having the same conversations and nothing is getting accomplished. Scott MacFarlane's going to join us coming up other side of the news break. This is Talkline on Metro News for 40 years, the voice of West Virginia. It is 10:30 and time to get a news update. Let's check in with the Metro News Radio Network, find out what's happening all across the great state of West Virginia.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Solango Law. Get results, not excuses.
Meteorologist Joe Hansel here. Got you a forecast on your Monday, June 29th. Be mindful of some fog. Some patchy to widespread dense fog may affect the morning drive for some of you to start the day. Then I'll watch underneath the strong ridge, very strong ridge of high pressure, a heat dome. We'll have well above average heat and humidity through this week. We have a high of 82 yesterday, and that was 4 below average for that in Charleston. Now we'll be getting into some potentially near daily records later this week for temps, for highs and overnight warm lows. Today is likely dry for most of us. Around the mountains, there is a slight chance of a brief and isolated shower and thunderstorm. So some brief accumulating rain, a moderate to heavy shower can't be ruled out, but again, it's quite isolated and mostly around the mountains for today. Flies here forecast, it starts at home. A lot of these cities have concerns with heat too through this week. Areas of the southern Great Lakes, Carolinas, mid-Atlantic, northeast, we could tire break some up to widespread temperature daily records out there later this week and into the holiday weekend. For northern areas, from Panhandle to Panhandle, we got upper 80s, low 90s potentially today, so approaching 90 degrees. Eastern areas, again, near the mountains, a slight chance of a brief isolated shower and storm today. Highs around the mid-80s, very little chance of rain for the eastern Panhandle out there. From east to west here, Parkersburg got you at 90 today. We have some mid-80s to low 90s already in the forecast. And to the south, some mid-80s to low 90s in here as well. Huntington near 91 degrees. Charleston 97 Tuesday, 98 Wednesday, 97 Thursday. Higher heat index values are expected. Lows in those warm 70s. And then for mainly Friday, 4th of July and Sunday, I'll watch for some chances of showers and storms. Still quite warm to hot and humid. And I'll have to watch some thunderstorm potential for the holiday weekend.
This is Ben Solango with Solango Law. Solango Law has earned a reputation for getting excellent results for our clients. With decades of experience handling thousands of cases, we know what it takes to deliver. Proudly voted Best in the Valley for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Charleston Gazette-Mail, Solango Law is deeply committed to giving back by investing in our community. From supporting local programs to making our region a better place to live, Solango Law is proud to be your trusted legal and community partner. Check us out at solangolaw.com.
When you hired me, you were 29. You seemed like you were 50 when you were 29. You were running that thing like a 50-year-old man. All right, we got to go get some tape. Come on, get out of there.
I think I've sort of always been 50, and I think I'm 50 now.
Yeah, me too.
That's
me too.
a great point.
Join Tony Caridi, Brad Howe, and Hoppy Kercheval for 3 Guys Before the Game. Metro News Television. Available on mobile, Roku, Fire TV, smart TVs, and online at wvmetronewstv.com.
Just to add to Jeff's report there, in addition to Tony, West Virginia Metro News, well represented at the National Sports Media Association Awards. Travis Jones, the state's sportscaster of the year, and Greg Carey, the West Virginia Sports Writer of the year, will also be honored during tonight's ceremonies. Tony's going to join us from Greensboro coming up an hour from now. Your text, 304-TALK-304. That is the text line. 800-765-8255 is the phone number. Well, lots going on in Washington, including the U.S. Supreme Court issuing opinions today. We did not get the BPJ opinion. We didn't get campaign finance. We did not get the birthright citizenship opinion today. So maybe tomorrow. We'll continue Supreme Court Watch 2026 tomorrow. Scott MacFarlane's chief Washington correspondent for Midas Touch. You can watch him on Scott MacFarlane Reports on YouTube, and he joins us on MetroNews Talkline this morning. Scott, good morning.
Good morning. Let me tell you how excited I am about the Tony Caridi news. He and I came out of the same college radio program in New York, and he is a North Star for everybody that came after him through that college radio project in New York. And this is not the first Hall of Fame he'll be entering. He is a legend at Syracuse University.
Well, you know what it means when they start giving you these types of awards, Scott. You're getting old. That's what I've always heard.
In the college world, if the university's honoring you, it means you're getting old and they want your money. But you're definitely getting old.
All right, Scott. U.S. Supreme Court handing down opinions this morning. Mail-in ballots siding with Mississippi this morning. Can you give us the Cliff Notes version?
Yeah, two big rulings in particular, both of which went against President Trump's wishes. The Supreme Court 5-4 ruled that Mississippi and about a dozen other like-situated states can accept ballots that arrive by mail after Election Day is over. So if the ballot arrives 2, 3, 4, 5 days after the election's concluded, they're still acceptable so long as they're postmarked properly and everything with the ballot shows integrity. Mississippi was challenging the administration, trying to keep this 5-day lag period in place, and the court ruled in Mississippi's favor. District of Columbia has this, about a dozen other states do too. Trump is again trying to push back on these looser election rules where you have mail-in voting or late arrivals, postmarks. He's been saying, only paper ballots, only election day itself. Supreme Court goes against him here. That's one ruling. The second one involves the Federal Reserve. Back to that old chestnut, aren't we? Trump is trying to fire one of the Federal Reserve Board governors, Lisa Cook, who was appointed by then President Biden. Trump has had a bee in his bonnet over interest rates and how the Federal Reserve has been handling those. He was trying to fire Lisa Cook. The Supreme Court has pushed back on that, saying he was unlawfully trying to do so. This will have to go back to a lower court. Lisa Cook stays in place.
Scott MacFarlane joining us, chief Washington correspondent for Midas Touch. Asking your opinion here, does this ruling for the Supreme Court, from the Supreme Court with the mail-in ballots, does this make the Trump administration push harder for the SAVE Act, which he's pushing pretty hard for right at the moment?
Yes, and what's more, it'll have the surrogates of the SAVE Act, of which Congressman Riley Moore is one of the most vocal, pushing for it too. They want to get that thing done. They want to get this SAVE Act passed, which would federalize some restrictions on voting, on voter rolls, on voter lists. Even if the Hail Mary was caught in the end zone on this, it's an incredible long shot the SAVE Act were to get passed. There's not enough time to implement it before the election. It's almost a fool's errand. I mean, they don't have the sufficient time and bandwidth in states across America to implement this law. And what's more, it brings us back to the old fight that they're having with West Virginia and other states across the country, trying to get the state's voter rolls brought to the Department of Justice and the Trump administration. West Virginia said no. Every other state has said no. They haven't gotten those voter rolls. A lot of this feels like a storm that's brewing, but I'm not sure the lightning and the thunder are going to cause any damage.
Well, I saw some comments from Senator Tillis over the weekend. He said, basically, and I'm paraphrasing a tad, Scott, why are we doing this? We don't have the votes for it, nor do we have the time to implement anything, but here we are having this conversation anyway.
Exactly. Senator Tillis, a good barometer on what Republicans who are disaffected with the SAVE Act are saying. The votes aren't there. in part because Republicans know this can't be implemented before November, and you can't get this thing done without Democratic votes too, and that's not going to happen. It really is a dust storm that's being kicked up, and critics of the administration will say they're trying to kick up a dust storm so they can mechanize something after the election to overturn certain results in certain states. And that is a cynical view of what the administration is trying to do here, but nevertheless, it's one that's defining the week here in Washington.
Scott MacFarlane joining us from D.C. Have you been to the America's State Fair yet?
Yeah, and here's the problem. The weather has been awful. It hasn't been much better here than it's been where you're sitting. I mean, it's been rainy the last few days. It's been muggy as all get out. The temperatures will exceed 100 degrees next week. It's just a mess. And it's been stormy. They've had to cancel certain sections of this event because the weather's been miserable. So maybe that's part of the reason the crowd size is miserable. Like, there are tens of people in some of these exhibits, and that is not what people were hoping for from the Freedom 250. I could add the local chestnut that the Jefferson County future farmers, those young folks who are here to support agriculture, they've been doing a great job at the state fair. But you got to have people look at the stuff to make it worth everybody's time and trouble, and the crowd size has been anemic.
You got to swing by the West Virginia booth. I saw it featured on one of the other cable news networks, Scott. You got to swing by the West Virginia booth, see what's going on over there.
Done.
Oh, you've already been there.
They're doing a great job, but they're only going to live off the land here. Like, if they can't draw thousands or tens of thousands of people to the National Mall, these booths are going to be largely empty. And that's what we saw, but I would chalk at least some of it up to weather. It's been miserable. Who wants to go to the National Mall where there's no shelter, there's no air conditioning, there's no indoor plumbing, and spend a 98-degree muggy day walking around the mall?
Talking to Scott MacFarlane. Well, maybe they are disappointed there's algae in the reflecting pool, and that's just bummed them out, Scott. You know, keep people away. I can't believe I brought up the pool.
The pool is getting bluer. It's getting bluer,
that's great.
And the smell's going away, but you can just feel the politics emanating from the water. This whole thing became a mess. They probably won't have it open and ready and fixed for July 4th, but soon thereafter, they're optimistic some of this will be fixed, but and I emphasize this, but they're going to drain it again and do more repairs after the July 4th holiday, so who knows what happens next.
You ever done a home repair project, Scott, where you started off and you're like, you know what, I can get this done in a weekend. And by the end of the weekend, now you've had to call the contractors in because you really shouldn't have been doing what you were doing in the first place? This is what it reminds me of.
Me too. And here's what helps. When your wife's telling you, I told you it was harder than you thought. I told you weren't going to get this done. I told you you didn't have the right tools. That kind of heckling doesn't help anybody out.
We've all been there. I can get this done in a weekend. No problem. Sunday afternoon, you're just defeated. You're defeated, Scott. All right. Anything else happening in D.C.? It's kind of quiet here. We're going into the holiday. It's a little slow.
Well, the Senate pieced out until July 14th. They're done. Yeah. They're on the beach. Todd Blanche, the Attorney General, would be up for confirmation on the 15th and 16th of July. You're going to hear a lot about the Epstein files, a lot about slush funds, a lot about political independence. That's going to define the next couple of weeks here in Washington. But otherwise, man, I'm looking forward to the Giants training camp in White Sulphur Springs. It's always a sight to see the NFL teams and how they're shaping up, and we got one here.
Got the Giants coming to town. That's not a bad get. That's not a bad get. At least it's not the Bengals.
They got a dynamic quarterback, dynamic running back, and yes, at least it's not the Bengals.
My Bengal fans, friends, not going to be happy with us, Scott. Not going to be happy today. Scott MacFarlane, you can watch him on YouTube. Scott MacFarlane Reports, Chief Washington Correspondent for Midas Touch. Scott, always appreciate the update. Thank you very much.
Please pass along my best and congrats to Tony.
Will do. 304-TALK. 304 is the text line, 800-765-TALK. The phone number. Tony going to join us coming up in the second hour. Again, nothing from the U.S. Supreme Court today on BPJ. Maybe tomorrow. We'll get some text in. 304-TALK. 304 800-765-TALK. That's the phone number. This is Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios.
Right now, America is hungry for energy, more power, more reliability, and more security. So here's a question worth asking. Why not coal? And why not now? West Virginia sits on one of the most abundant energy resources in the world. Generations of miners, proven infrastructure, and coal-fired power plants already delivering dependable, around-the-clock electricity. At a time when demand is surging and reliability matters more than ever, coal isn't a question mark, it's a solution. Today, there's robust support in West Virginia and Washington to strengthen American energy independence using the resources we already have. So again, we ask, why not coal? And why not now? Because when it comes to powering our homes, our hospitals, our economy, and new opportunities, West Virginia Coal is ready. A message from the Friends of Coal, powering America today and tomorrow.
Are you ready to reach the finish line of retirement? At the Stike team at Wealth Enhancement Group, we provide comprehensive guidance for retirement planning in West Virginia. With years of experience, we'll draft a plan tailored for your unique goals. Whether you're just starting or nearing retirement, we make the process as simple as possible, easy, and stress-free. Visit wealthenhancement.com/Stike to set up a complimentary consultation and get started on your plan today. Let's work toward your dream retirement together.
They say you can't take the lottery with you. But now, you can play anywhere, anytime with iPlay, the West Virginia Lottery's official app. From Cooper's Rock to the Greenbrier River, from the bleachers to your living room, iPlay goes where you do. Safe, simple, and always West Virginia proud. Play anywhere, anytime. Download iPlay today. iPlay, the fun, secure way to play, wherever life takes you. 18 plus to play. Play responsibly.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
For couples that are experiencing infertility, about half will have the male factor in the diagnosis. At the WVU Medicine Center for Reproductive Medicine, we offer a wide array of treatment options for male factor infertility. There's really no reason you would need to go anywhere else. If we can identify and treat male factor infertility, we can prevent couples from even having to go down the road of IVF, saving you potentially money and time. We're here to help build a family. We have the capabilities and we care.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
Download Metro News Television on your iPhone or Android. Search Metro News Television in your app store. Create an account today to get alerts and watch all live and archived content. Download now.
At Daniel's Men's Store, exceptional style begins with a curated selection and finishes with a flawless fit. When it's time to buy a suit, Daniel's is here to make sure yours is one of a kind. Discovered, tailored suits you'll only find in-store at Daniel's.
Longer days, warmer drives, and better deals at Dan Cava GMC. Hit the road in one of our new luxury GMC Acadias. Take your pick from our massive selection. Now up to $5,500 off select new Acadias and 3.9% for 60 months. The great deals continue with our large selection of quality pre-owned vehicles. All this and more at Dan Cava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop the world.
Metro News Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
I have apparently riled up the Bengals fans. 304 Talk 304. Bengals fan for 7 decades. How dare ye speak ill of Cincinnati. Hashtag Who Day. And more power to you. If you've been I'm a long-suffering or was a long-suffering Washington Redskins fan. So I feel your pain. 304 Talk 304. Texter says if our legislature wanted to solve school funding problem, they would solve it and solve it quickly. I don't want to oversimplify this, okay? I don't want to oversimplify the school funding problem. We tend to do that, and we tend to talk very hyperbolically. In fact, writing a piece for later this week, possibly tomorrow, illustrating that point. But that's another story for another day. So I don't want to oversimplify this, but it is a priority. And when we say we want government to function like business, what we mean is we want it to run efficiently. The thing government cannot do, public schools cannot do this, no government agency can do this, is increase output and increase revenue by doing so. Because they don't, it just doesn't work that way. Government is inherently inefficient. So when it comes to the public schools, it's a matter of priority. It's a matter of budget priority. Is this line item going to get more than this line? Which line item is going to be the most important? And everybody's line item is the most important to that particular group. But look, there's a constitutional duty here. And we come back every single year, and education will never be adequately funded. It never has been. It never will be. But it's about more than funding. It's about making certain the system does not fall in on itself. And it feels like we are approaching that. You have the state board president saying as much. You have members of the legislature who are out there on the front line saying we need to address this. Here are the list of problems that we continue to ignore. 304 Talk 304. Dave, this is a long one. Settle in here. West Virginia public education is about a $4.2 billion annual system all in, with just under $2 billion in state, $1.44 billion local, $794 million federal. Hope is currently budgeted for about $121 million, which is roughly 2.8% of West Virginia's total public K-12 education funding when federal and local dollars are included. The Hope Scholarship accounts for less than 3% of total public education funding in West Virginia. Even using the current full award student count, Hope students are only about 6% of school enrollment, a small single-digit share of the education landscape. The Hope Scholarship is less than 3% of total public education funding in West Virginia, and it serves a small share of students and those families. It is working. So instead of trying to tear down something that is helping kids, let's put our energy into fixing what is not working for the overwhelming majority of students still in the traditional system. I agree with you, Texter. I agree with you. I do believe Hope Scholarship, educational choice, and public education can coexist. My point during the rant about 20 minutes ago was that the executive branch in particular used his political capital for one of those and is not using it for the other. It's about balance. Everything's about balance. Everything's about moderation, right? Right now, the scale is not balanced, in my opinion. And this is what Paul Hardesty brought up a year ago. Remember when he slapped down the giant blue book of regulations of the state code that governs the public school system and the lack of state code that governs homeschool, private school, etc.? I'm not asking. I don't want to see the state pile more regulations over here. I want to see them take them away over here with the public school system and allow our teachers to do what they do best. Teach. More of those school dollars getting to the classrooms. Addressing the special education needs. We're here having the same discussion in the middle, late June, early July that we had last year, that was had before TJ and I had this show the year before that. We cannot go into another legislative session and ignore the issue in the room. And I think Amy Nicole Grady, Senate Education Committee Chair, and Joe Statler is certainly trying, the House Education Committee Chairman as well. But you can only talk about a problem so long before you have to come up with a solution. 304 Talk 304. What legislator will propose consolidating school boards, excluding disruptive special needs kids from the classroom, and demand school performance accountability? The quality of public education is the primary reason for growth or alternative education. There's some truth to that as well. And there's truth to what Amy Nicole Grady said on the show last week, that a lot of times the difficult decisions don't get made because of self-preservation, because you have to go back. You may have to go back to your district in the House or in the Senate, and your district may be losing money because of a change in the formula. Or if we're talking about consolidating counties, for instance, That may not be popular in your district. That's tough. Those are tough decisions that lawmakers have to take into consideration, and it's tough when you got to run for re-election every 2 years. 304-TALK, 304, that's the text line, 800-765-8255, the phone number. Jackpots are growing in West Virginia. Jackpots are on the rise every week. Powerball hits Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. Mega Millions lights up Tuesdays and Fridays. That's 5 chances a week to get in on life-changing jackpots. Play in-store and online. 18 plus to play. Please play responsibly. The Powerball jackpot is $360 million. Mega Millions jackpot's $511 million. So go ahead, play today. Back in a moment. Tell you what's coming up. Hour number 2. This is Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios.
At WVU Medicine Golisano Children's, pediatric primary care is never far away. Our pediatricians are here for everything your child needs. Whether it's a well child or an unexpected visit, you have local, convenient access to our expert pediatric primary care team. Visit WVUkids.com to schedule an appointment.
They say you can't take the lottery with you. But now, you can play anywhere, anytime with iPlay, the West Virginia Lottery's official app. From Cooper's Rock to the Greenbrier River, from the bleachers to your living room, iPlay goes where you do. Safe, simple, and always West Virginia proud. Play anywhere, anytime. Download iPlay today. iPlay, the fun, secure way to play, wherever life takes you. 18 plus to play. Play responsibly.
The Monarch Compute campus in Mason County is starting construction, and they're ready to hire. InScale, the company building the Monarch campus, is hosting a free job fair Tuesday, June 30th from noon to 7. It's at the former Mason County Armory on Ohio River Road. Employers, including Kiewit, Ames Construction, and Boyd Cat, will be on site recruiting for roles in construction and operations. Marshall, WVU, and Mount West will also be sharing information on training and degree programs. To pre-register, go to inscale.com. That's NSCALE.com. Walk-ins are welcome.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
I'm Sean Kovich, Mountaineer Golf Coach. When disaster strikes your home, business, or golf game, call the restoration company the Mountaineers call. Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
For couples that are experiencing infertility, about half will have the male factor in the diagnosis. At the WVU Medicine Center for Reproductive Medicine, we offer a wide array of treatment options for male factor infertility. There's really no reason you would need to go anywhere else. If we can identify and treat male factor infertility, we can prevent couples from even having to go down the road of IVF, saving you potentially money and time. We're here to help build a family. We have the capabilities and we care.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
Text line is 304-TALK 304. Phone number is 800-765-8255. Coming up second hour, Jared Halpern will stop by Fox News Radio. We'll get the latest from the Trump administration. What's going on with Iran? Iran struck an oil tanker over the weekend. U.S. fired back. There's supposed to be peace talks. None of this seems to be going well. We'll talk to Fox News Radio's Jared Halpern coming up second hour. Also, Tony Caridi is going to stop by. Tony being honored with the Woody Durham Award from the National Sports Media Association. Also, Travis Jones and Greg Carey from Metro News being recognized as the West Virginia Sportscaster and Sports Writer of the Year, respectively. So Tony will check in from Greensboro. Also, I asked him, full disclosure, Dave Allen will join us in just a couple of minutes. We'll chop some things up with Mr. Allen down in the Charleston studios. Couple of texts here, 304-TALK, 304. Hey, Dave, Supergirl, impervious to bullets, yet taken down by a gun. Gunn, says the texter. Not a James Gunn fan. Not a James Gunn fan of the movies he's made. I had no ambition to see that movie anyway. James Gunn, not a reason to go see it. When was the last good movie? This is going to sound cliche. It was probably Top Gun Maverick in the movie theater. The last, good movie theater movie that I've seen. Not a big movie guy anyway. I'd rather stay at home, watch it on Netflix. Much easier. And the popcorn's cheaper. Coming up, Dave Allen will join us from the Cove Insurance Studios down in Charleston. We'll chop it up with Dave about a couple of subjects. Jared Halpern, Tony Caridi from North Carolina going to join us as well. Come on back for the second hour of MetroNews Talkline. Get yourself a scone and a latte. We're back in 6 minutes. This is Talkline on Metro News for 40 years, the voice of West Virginia.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Salango Law. Get results, not excuses.
Meteorologist Joe Hansel here. Got you a forecast on your Monday, June 29th. Be mindful of some fog. Some patchy to widespread dense fog may affect the morning drive for some of you to start the day. Then I'll watch underneath the strong ridge, very strong ridge of high pressure, a heat dome. We'll have well above average heat and humidity through this week. We have a high of 82 yesterday, and that was 4 below average for that in Charleston. Now we'll be getting into some potentially near daily records later this week for temps, for highs and overnight warm lows. Today is likely dry for most of us. Around the mountains, there is a slight chance of a brief and isolated shower and thunderstorm. So some brief accumulating rain, a moderate to heavy shower can't be ruled out, but again, it's quite isolated and mostly around the mountains for today. Fly River forecast, it starts at home. A lot of these cities have concerns with heat too through this week. Areas of the southern Great Lakes, Carolinas, mid-Atlantic, northeast, we could tire break some up to widespread temperature daily records out there later this week and into the holiday weekend. For northern areas, from Panhandle to Panhandle, we got upper 80s, low 90s potentially today, so approaching 90 degrees. Eastern areas, again, near the mountains, a slight chance of a brief isolated shower and storm today. Highs around the mid-80s, very little chance of rain for the eastern Panhandle out there. From east to west here, Parkersburg got you at 90 today. We have some mid-80s to low 90s already in the forecast. And to the south, some mid-80s to low 90s in here as well. Huntington near 91 degrees. Charleston 97 Tuesday, 98 Wednesday, 97 Thursday. Higher heat index values are expected. Lows in those warm 70s. And then for mainly Friday, 4th of July and Sunday, I'll watch for some chances of showers and storms. Still quite warm to hot and humid. And I'll have to watch some thunderstorm potential for the holiday weekend.
This is Ben Salango with Salango Law. Salango Law has earned a reputation for getting excellent results for our clients. With decades of experience handling thousands of cases, we know what it takes to deliver. Proudly voted Best in the Valley for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Charleston Gazette-Mail, Salango Law is deeply committed to giving back by investing in our community. From supporting local programs to making our region a better place to live, Salango Law is proud to be your trusted legal and community partner. Check us out at salangolaw.com.
MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
MetroNews Talkline already in progress. Second hour of the show. Say good morning to our great radio affiliates across the state of West Virginia. We appreciate you being part of our program. Also, if you're watching in on the MetroNews TV app, Facebook Live, YouTube Live, wherever you may be consuming the show, we appreciate it. Don't forget, download the app to your favorite mobile device. You can download it to your smart TV. Not only can you watch this program, you can also watch all of the other offerings from Metro News, including our high school sports coverage across the state. Joe Bricado is out zigzagging already, getting ready for high school football season. Less than 60 days, my gosh, till kickoff for the high school football season. Feels like summer just got started, and here we are. We're coming up on the 4th of July. Man, it is flying by. 304-TALK, 304-800-765-TALK is the phone number. Jared Halpern going to join us from Washington, D.C., the latest on the on-again, off-again. Do we have peace talks? Do we have a ceasefire? Airstrikes? What's going on with Iran? We'll get the latest with Jared Halpern, and we'll talk to Tony Caridi. He's being honored by the National Sports Media Association with the Woody Durham Voice of College Sports Award. Not to mention Travis Jones and Greg Carey also being honored as the West Virginia Sportscaster and Sports Writers, respectively, down at the awards in Greensboro, North Carolina. So we'll talk to Tony in a little bit, get more of your texts coming up as well. 304-TALK, 304-800-765-8255, the phone number. He is affectionately known as Southern Dave across the Metro News Radio Network. He is Dave Allen. You can hear him prior to this show down in Charleston on our Charleston flagship station with 580 Live. Then you can hear him after this show on Metro News Midday on many of these same Metro News Radio affiliates. Morning, Southern Dave.
Good morning, Northern Dave. How you doing?
I was just saying, it feels like summer just started, and for me it kind of did. We got finished with the state baseball tournament, so summer kind of starts, got a few days off, took a trip, and now it's less than 60 days to kick off. Summer's almost over. It just got started.
Well, summer's not over yet until you officially see the back-to-school advertising. And I haven't seen any yet. I was in, by the way, here in the Kanawha Valley, everybody, just so your listeners and everybody knows, we are all aflutter over the grand Kroger store that opened up in
I've
South
heard about
Charleston.
this.
I mean, this thing has got everything from tires to clothing and meats and cheeses, of course, which excites me. I have not made it there yet. My wife and I had to go to the grocery store on Saturday. I said, do you want a chance? She said, no, let's give it a couple of weeks. But everybody here in the Kanawha Valley is excited. It's Kroger Marketplace. It's and I know you interviewed the marketing guy just like we did. I think it's the only one like it in the state of West Virginia. And so it's in South Charleston.
Wow. Big times, Dave. Big times for the new Kroger's open up. Hey, let me ask you, since you're down there in the thick of things, I'm watching from afar with the Stern Rail Regatta coming up this week. Big celebration in Charleston down the river.
Yeah.
We got the America 250 celebration happening over at the State Capitol Complex. That's a lot going on all at the same time with a lot of entertainment coming to town. How's the city of Charleston kind of handling all this right at the moment?
It's a lot going on in a small area, too, because, I mean, the America 250 or the Capitol 250 or whatever it's called is going to be on the Capitol grounds, and primarily Regatta is, just about half a mile down the road. So it's going to be a lot in a small space and a small amount of time. I think the city of Charleston is prepared for it. I just, we have very hardworking employees in the city of Charleston, the street departments, fire departments, police department, some of the best in the country, in my opinion, seeing what these hardworking men and women do every year. But even this is a lot. This is a heavy ask because Alabama is going to be going up against Bobby Brown on the schedule. Now, Alabama has not had a hit record in a number of years, but that doesn't matter because
they've been on their farewell tour for 20 years, Dave.
Well, I was going to say, you and I talked about that last week. You attended their farewell tour like in, some 20, 30, 25 years ago. But that doesn't really matter. I'm not trying to disparage him in any way. I'm just saying because, there are those acts in the world of music, be it rock or country, that are iconic and they're going to sell out no matter what. Well, this is a free concert. At the same time, just down the street, Bobby Brown doing My Prerogative, Every Little Step, Ronin, all of his hits going on against Alabama, who's had 50 number one songs. So big times in the capital city later this week. Plus, MetroNews meteorologist Brian Hughes says the heat index is going to be like, 721 or something while this is going on. So going to be a whole lot of sweating going on in the capital city.
One, he's going to have to explain to me if it feels like 121, why it's not 121 degrees. That's one thing Brian Hughes is going to have to explain to me. Number two, Dave, this is I don't know, maybe top 20 pet peeve of mine. I rank them. You know my number one. But duplication of services. I'm just throwing this out there, armchair quarterbacking this. Could we not have got together and had one big celebration instead of having two within a mile and a half of each other, competing for the same competing for the same people, competing for the same eyeballs, creating more strain on the city? Could we not have just done one big one if everybody got in a room together?
Well, a couple things here, and I don't disagree with what you're saying. And Mike Pushkin would say, "So you agree?" That's the Mike Pushkin thing.
Yeah, he does
so I mean, number one, the regatta, when it returned a couple of years ago, it was on a hiatus for several years, and it came back. It used to be held around the Labor Day holiday. Now it's held around the 4th of July, give or take a date or two. America's birthday is July 4th, so there are those who would say, "Well, why couldn't you do?" America's celebrating its 250th birthday throughout the year. So there would be those saying, well, why couldn't you do this around Labor Day? Or maybe could you done it earlier? Well, it's not July 4th, and that's the official birthday, and I officially get that. Regatta has been on the calendar, as I said, ever since it came back. The Goodwin administration has said they have been in talks with the governor's office and the Capitol folks to try to make sure everything runs smoothly. I'm not going to put thoughts into the head or out of the mouth of Mayor Amy Schuler Goodwin, but I would say if she had her druthers, they probably would have rather this been held another time. I completely understand that. But, I mean, they're going to be running shuttles back and forth between the two. And so there are people that are going to take in both of them, the historical aspect of what's going on the Capitol grounds, and then what's going on down the street, because we have a tendency to think about the regatta as just the concerts. And there's a whole lot more to it than that. I mean, it's starting Thursday. It's all day, all hours. I mean, things going on from things for, carnivals and for kids and so on and so forth. So it's not just about the concerts. I understand, though, and I have questions. And that's not me questioning the leadership of Mayor Goodwin or any of the hardworking men and women that work for the city of Charleston. I just think that you're asking a whole lot of probably already kind of stretched thin people, and you're asking them to do it in 100-degree weather. So I just hope everything goes smoothly.
And Dave Allen's joining us, host of Metro News Midday from the Encove Insurance Studios in Charleston. Dave, there's this juxtaposition as well. There's a political aspect to this. And look, I get it. There are, to use Jim Justice's metaphor, different buckets of money.
Mm-hmm.
But when you are an administration that preaches being fiscally responsible, got to tighten the belt, got to find efficiencies, got to cut money here, got to reduce spending in these agencies, to spend $2.5 million for this celebration, the optics can look bad. And I get it. These are different buckets of money. I'm all for celebrating America, $250.
Yep. Same.
Got red, white, and blue flag on the house. I'm ready to go, buddy. Let's eat some watermelon. Have some fireworks.
Yeah.
But the optics, for those people who want to nitpick and those people who want to be critical of the administration, the optics doesn't look good. When you're asking every other agency, you got to reduce your budget because we got to be responsible.
Well, there was a statement, and I don't have it right in front of me, though, that the West Virginia Troopers Association put out on their social media basically saying the same thing. Asking about this, and when you're asking us to cut services or whatever, then we're going to have this birthday party. But look, as somebody else pointed out on a social media site I was on, they said, look, you think they didn't have celebrations during the Depression? And Stephen Allen Adams, friend of the program, was on my local show. He said, we built the Capitol during the Depression. And I'm sure there was a couple of eyebrows raised at that. And look, I'm not a conspiracy theory kind of guy. I'm a realist. But I just wonder, just for the sake of wondering, Mr. Wilson, if Charleston were to be run by a Republican, would the governor be as gung-ho on this thing, or would they work together? I'm not saying I haven't been in the rooms. I don't know that they're not working together, but still, I just wonder if it would have been a Republican in the mayor's seats, would this celebration be happening at the same time? Maybe it would, maybe it wouldn't. I don't know.
I think it'll work. Because, you know what? Because when you give people, Dave, good people, a problem, they'll figure it out.
Yeah.
They'll figure out a way to make it all work, and it will probably all turn out just fine.
Well, and there when the regatta, as I said, was away for many, many years. I'm old enough to remember, although I wasn't living in Charleston, I'm not a Charleston native, but in the 80s, the Beach Boys came, 100 and some thousand people out there. Danny Jones on my local show this morning was talking about when Miami Sound Machine, there's a name out of the past, but when they were at the top of their game, they put 100,000 people in 1987. Charlie Daniels played here. Alabama's played here in the past too. But when the mayor brought back, she ran on one of the things that she ran on was one of the many things was I want to bring the regatta back. People told her she was crazy. It's huge. It's not what it was in 1987, and it never will be. It doesn't stretch for 10 days. The advertising is not there. The people aren't there, so on and so forth. But it's a pretty big party, and it brings a whole lot of people into Charleston. And over the last couple of years, there have been some major league acts. I mean, this year you got Bobby Brown, you got Winona, you got Melissa Etheridge, you got Brett Michaels of Poison. These are some pretty big acts that are going to bring a lot of people into Charleston, and those people in turn are going to fill up the hotels. These people in turn are going to go and dine at one of Charleston's many, many downtown restaurants. So it's a good thing all around. But I just hope that it all goes smoothly. I just got concerns, Wilson. I just got concerns, but I hope on Monday I come on and I say, you know what? That was all the worry about nothing. It all worked out. God bless America.
What are your plans? You going to set off some fireworks? Are you a fireworks kind of guy? Do you set off your own? You probably lock yourself in the basement.
My HOA does not allow fireworks. Sorry. No, seriously, they don't. I got my wife's got some family coming in, so we're going to probably do the grill out thing. But, Papaw's in bed by like 8 or 8:30.
Oh,
so,
sure.
I may go out on the front porch, open a beer, have a sparkler, and go, yay, and then go back to bed.
I don't mind one day of fireworks. It's the knuckleheads in the neighborhood that go by the discounted ones on July 5th that really irritate me.
Normally, not in our neighborhood, Wilson, but in the neighborhood a couple of subdivisions over, that normally happens. They start literally around June 8th or 9th, and they go to the end of the month. But that hasn't been the case this time. Now, like you said, there'll be the discount fireworks folks, and they may go load up. And I'm not a big fireworks guy myself, but more power to it, and God bless America.
All right. You can catch more of Dave Allen, if this was just a little bit of a teaser, coming up Metro News Midday at 12:06. In fact, I'll join you guys later on today as well for a minute or two.
Yeah, you'll be on talking about your commentary today, and Amanda will be here. We got a good show for the folks coming up today. Mitch Carmichael is going to be on the show. Former Senate president is going to join me during the 2 o'clock hour. I have no idea what we're going to talk about. I just sent him a text. Said, "You want to come on?" He said, "Sure." So there you go.
Dave, appreciate it, buddy. Thanks for stopping by.
All right, man. See you.
Jared Halpern from D.C. next.
Right now, America is hungry for energy, more power, more reliability, and more security. So here's a question worth asking. Why not coal? And why not now? West Virginia sits on one of the most abundant energy resources in the world. Generations of miners, proven infrastructure, and coal-fired power plants already delivering dependable, around-the-clock electricity. At a time when demand is surging and reliability matters more than ever, coal isn't a question mark, it's a solution. Today, there's robust support in West Virginia and Washington to strengthen American energy independence using the resources we already have. So again, we ask, why not coal? And why not now? Because when it comes to powering our homes, our hospitals, our economy, and new opportunities, West Virginia Coal is ready. A message from the Friends of Coal, powering America today and tomorrow.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
For over 4 decades, we've been rooted deep inside West Virginia. Through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Proudly serving your neighborhood since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community.
The health plan, we are here for you.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you. We've got it down to a science, an absolute state of art. We do it all, restoration, cleaning, and reconstruction. When disaster strikes, just pick up the phone. We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you.
Sunshine, open roads, and a new Toyota from Dan Cava Toyota World. Lease an all-new Camry for as low as $398 a month. All new Tundras now up to $8,000 off. All new Tacomas now up to $4,500 off, or lease as low as $399 a month. $7,500 off the new BZ or 0% financing for 72 months. We've got a Toyota for you at Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
We'll get to the text line, 304-TALK 304. Phone numbers, 800-765-TALK, 800-765-8255. Down a man today, TJ enjoying a week of rest and relaxation at an undisclosed golf course near you. 304-TALK 304 is the text line. The U.S. and Iran agreeing to end days of back-and-forth fighting around the Strait of Hormuz and resume peace talks. That, according to U.S. and U.S. officials and other countries involved in the negotiations. Let's bring in Fox News Radio's Jared Halpern for the latest from the White House. Jared, good morning.
Yeah, it shows how fragile this ceasefire that, recall, was announced a week or two ago is. As you know, the Strait of Hormuz kind of still remains a big question mark. The president says that the U.S. delegation will travel to Doha tomorrow for this meeting. So we'll get a sense pretty early on here, perhaps, if this memorandum of understanding can get back on track after a weekend of the U.S. and Iran kind of trading fire. Iran continuing to target a couple of commercial ships. They also fired into Bahrain, where there are U.S. military bases. The U.S. responded with a couple of airstrikes on military targets near the Strait of Hormuz. And so clearly the ceasefire is not a 100% ceasefire after what we've seen this weekend.
Clearly not. Jared, what's the reaction around town there in D.C.? Because, again, we have this very tenuous deal, but Iran's saying a lot of things, and the U.S. is saying, well, not so fast. And here we are.
Again, it's one of the reasons that Congress has continued to ask for these regular briefings on kind of what is the status of these negotiations, what is the U.S. expectation of Iran, what are the consequences if Iran does not abide by those expectations. Those briefings will continue and go on this week and certainly throughout this process, but there's not a lot at this stage that Congress really can do, right? I mean, they've had a couple of votes to on war powers resolutions. Those would be vetoed by the president if they even reached his desk. Every president since that law passed in the 70s has said that the War Powers Act is unconstitutional anyway. And so right now you're kind of stuck with Congress asking for briefings, trying to understand where things are, what is the expectation, what is the timeline, and what happens next.
Fox News Radio's Jared Halpern. Jared, senators, obviously, they've left town for the recess, but Senator Tom Tillis saying, with regards to the SAVE Act, doesn't have the votes. Why are we doing this?
It doesn't have the votes, but President Trump continues to really, and even just this morning after a Supreme Court ruling out of Mississippi, continues to hammer the need for the SAVE Act, calling out the 5 Republican senators who have not supported it. But even if it gets 50 votes, and one version has and one version hasn't in the Senate, it's going to need 60. It seems unlikely that there is an appetite in the Senate to undo the filibuster, to change the filibuster, because, you know, a lot of these guys have been in the Senate a long time and know that majorities come and go, and they don't want to kind of open up that precedent if Republicans lose the Senate, Democrats win back the Senate. So it remains a top issue for President Trump. And it has gotten in the way of the rest of the legislative agenda, right? I mean, the president did not move forward with the Director of National Intelligence. That has stalled FISA renewal. That remains unresolved. Last week, you saw the president scrap a bill signing for a bipartisan housing affordability bill that he says he wants the SAVE Act done first. That was a massive surprise and was met with an awful lot of criticism from Republicans who want to run on this legislation as part of their affordability message. It seems like that's going to become law one way or another, because if the president takes no action in about a week or so, it becomes law automatically. But it shows, right, how much pressure the president is willing to exert for the Save America Act, which, to your point, so far does not have a path in the United States Senate.
Did you get the pool fixed yet? Working on it.
You know, they're working on it. They're going to drain the water, I guess, after July 4th. And this one of those situations where, again, politics has kind of gotten in the way. The president says that this was vandalism. There have been people charged. We've not seen kind of the accusations or names. Democrats are calling this a vanity project. Republicans are calling it sabotage. At any rate, they are apparently going to reseal this thing, try and stop the algae blooms that have developed, but that's probably going to happen now after the 4th because it's largely fenced around anyway right now because of the state fair thing going on, and they're getting them all set up for the big July 4th fireworks on July 4th.
Metro News. Fox News. He works for Fox News. Jared Halpern in D.C. Thanks, Jared. Appreciate it, buddy.
Yep.
800-765-TALK. The phone number 304-TALK. 304 is the text line. Texter says, hey, Dave, about fireworks, all I ask is please remember pets and all outdoor animals are scared to death of them, so please try to decompress them and keep them calm. That's my real aggravation with the fireworks. I mean, I can sleep through anything. It doesn't matter. They don't bother me. They bother my dog, which in turn bothers me. So don't shoot off fireworks around my house. I'd appreciate that. The dog would really appreciate it. That's really the big irritant there. I don't care. Shoot them off, but you're irritating my dog, and that irritates me. 304-TALK, 304 the text line. Coming up, Tony Caridi being honored for a career in college sports from the National Sports Media Association. We'll talk to him on the other side of the news break. We'll get to some of your texts as well. Got a lot to get to before the top of the hour at 304-TALK, 304. This is Talkline on Metro News for 40 years, the voice of West Virginia. It's 11:30. Let's get a news update from the Metro News Radio Network. Find out what's happening all across the great state of West Virginia.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Salango Law. Get results, not excuses.
Meteorologist Joe Hansel here. Got you a forecast on your Monday, June 29th. Be mindful of some fog. Some patchy to widespread dense fog may affect the morning drive for some of you to start the day. Then I'll watch underneath the strong ridge, very strong ridge of high pressure, a heat dome. We'll have well above average heat and humidity through this week. We have a high of 82 yesterday, and that was 4 below average for that in Charleston. Now we'll be getting into some potentially near daily records later this week for temps, for highs and overnight warm lows. Today is likely dry for most of us. Around the mountains, there is a slight chance of a brief and isolated shower and thunderstorm. So some brief accumulating rain, a moderate to heavy shower can't be ruled out, but again, it's quite isolated and mostly around the mountains for today. Fly River forecast, it starts at home. A lot of these cities have concerns with heat too through this week. Areas of the southern Great Lakes, Carolinas, mid-Atlantic, northeast, we could tie or break some up to widespread temperature daily records out there later this week and into the holiday weekend. For northern areas, from Panhandle to Panhandle, we got upper 80s, low 90s potentially today, so approaching 90 degrees. Eastern areas, again, near the mountains, a slight chance of a brief isolated shower and storm today. Highs around the mid-80s, very little chance of rain for the eastern Panhandle out there. From east to west here, Parkersburg got you at 90 today. We have some mid-80s to low 90s already in the forecast. And to the south, some mid-80s to low 90s in here as well. Huntington near 91 degrees. Charleston 97 Tuesday, 98 Wednesday, 97 Thursday. Higher heat index values are expected. Lows in those warm 70s. And then for mainly Friday, 4th of July and Sunday, I'll watch for some chances of showers and storms. Still quite warm to hot and humid. And I'll have to watch some thunderstorm potential for the holiday weekend.
This is Ben Salango with Salango Law. Salango Law has earned a reputation for getting excellent results for our clients. With decades of experience handling thousands of cases, we know what it takes to deliver. Proudly voted best in the Valley for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Charleston Gazette-Mail, Salango Law is deeply committed to giving back by investing in our community. From supporting local programs to making our region a better place to live, Salango Law is proud to be your trusted legal and community partner. Check us out at salangolaw.com.
When you hired me, you were 29. You seemed like you were 50 when you were 29. You were running that thing like a 50-year-old man. All right, we got to go get some tape. Come on, get out of there.
I think I've sort of always been 50, and I think I'm 50 now.
No, me too.
That's
me
a great point.
Join Tony Caridi, Brad Howe, and Hoppy Kercheval for 3 Guys Before the Game. Metro News Television. Available on mobile, Roku, Fire TV, smart TVs, and online at wvmetronewstv.com.
It is going to be hot. It is going to be humid this week. It'll be the perfect week to be out on the river or the lake. Well, to do that, you're going to need a boat. You're going to need a great deal on a pontoon or fishing boat from Lou Wendell Marine Sales. You can check out the entire inventory at LouWendellMarineSales.com. Lou Wendell Marine Sales, we sell family fun. The National Sports Media Association gives the Woody Durham Voice of College Sports Award out annually. It was created in 2018. Former winners include legendary play-by-play voices such as Gene Deckeroff at Florida State University, Johnny Holliday at the University of Maryland, Joe Starkey, University of California. You know, the band is on the field, the band is on the field. That's the guy. Being added to that list today during the awards banquet down in Greensboro, North Carolina, will be the play-by-play announcer for the West Virginia University Mountaineers, Tony Caridi, who joins us on MetroNews Talkline. Morning, Tony.
Good morning to you guys. How are you?
Doing pretty well, buddy. First of all, Woody Durham. Folks who don't know who Woody Durham is, shame on you. He was the longtime voice, 40 years for North Carolina football and basketball. So to be put, to have an award with his name on it, Tony, means what to you?
Well, that's a huge wow. It was incredibly humbling when I first received the call, and it brings back a lot of memories because I guess it's ironically, not coincidentally, but ironically, when I was a student reporter at Syracuse, one of my assignments when Syracuse was playing North Carolina basketball was before the game to get an interview with Woody Durham. And so I met him, and I'll be quite honest with you, left an unforgettable memory, just the way that he interacted and how nice he was and how he handled himself. That I've kind of, tried to emulate in sorts over the years. And he was a true gentleman, and I got to know him a little bit more. We played those guys in '96, if you remember, in the Gator Bowl. And I've known his son, Wes, who got his career, kind of launched at Marshall, and now is the voice of the Atlanta Falcons. So it's just an overall, it's just a wow, and an honor to be named in that category.
Tony Caridi joining us. He is the 2026 Woody Durham Voice of College Sports Award winner for the National Sports Media Association. Most famous person you've run into down in Greensboro so far?
Oh, most famous. It would have to be my old sweet mate, Sean McDonough. Sean is here. He will be named and receive the National Sportscaster of the Year Award coming up tonight. And the event started last night. They had a little reception, and then today there's seminars going on right now, and then the dinner tonight. But there's some big boy names here. Greg Gumbel will be enshrined into the Hall of Fame posthumously. James Brown is here. Ross Dellinger is the National Sports Writer of the Year. This organization, as you know, Dave, through the years, has stood the test of time, and there's some great guys that have come through here, and a lot of those guys will be here this evening.
How has the business changed from the time you got in as a student, trying to find that first job to where you are now? How's it changed? How's it not changed over the last 30 years, 40 years?
So I think it hasn't changed from the announcing standpoint, that preparation and all of those elements that are necessary for a broadcast, those things haven't changed. But I think technology has changed the business, drastically, in the sense that there are so many more platforms now where broadcasters can create their content, right? I mean, we're seeing high school games now, like in really good quality stream mode that wasn't even dreamt of, right, when I was first coming out of college. And all of those elements, the podcast space, the streaming space, that has opened up more opportunities, I think, for broadcasters, because there are just more games going on. But still, at the heart of it, it's as you know, it's a uniquely weird, nice, silly business. Guys like me, once they get these jobs at these colleges, they don't go away, right? I mean, you look around the leagues, and guys are there for 25 and 30 plus years. So that makes it difficult, obviously, for others that aspire to get those jobs. So there's no rhyme or reason to it, how it all evolves. It's just like it's just a weird, I say that in a nice way, it's just a weird business.
It is. And Tony, did this happen to you? Because we've all experienced, if we worked in this business, where you move in and you say, hey, yeah, I'm probably going to be here a few years and I'll go on to the next thing. But then you kind of get adopted into that community and into that family. The next thing you know, you don't want to go anywhere. Right. Was your path like that?
Oh, 100%. My goal was come to West Virginia for 6 months and leave, because that's kind of what the broadcasting thing was. Like, you would go to a place and you just go to the next place. And we had a ton of guys, right, through the years that did exactly that through our Morgantown radio stations, right? Dave Jagler came in. He's now the voice of the Washington Nationals. Sagar Magani came in, a Syracuse guy. He's the national security correspondent for the Associated Press. Dave Pash came in. He just signed a new deal with ESPN where he does NBA, and he's going to do NFL for him. And that's just a teeny little bit of the guys that we've had come through. So it's a fast-moving business. I'm kind of the unicorn in that I didn't go, and the reason was there was a bunch of reasons, and one of the big ones was as soon as I got there in 1984, by 1985, we were talking about creating something called MetroNews, and so that was a reason to stay. And then in 86, I started doing, games for MSN on TV, delay football broadcast and features, and so there was always a reason to stay. And then, I get married to someone that I met at the radio station, and then our first child is born, and you go like, this is like a really good, safe place to raise kids. And so by the time you know it, man, you click your fingers and like, hey, guess what? Now they say I'm old. So that's how the whole thing works.
Tony Caridi joining us. He's the winner of the Woody Durham Voice of College Sports Award from the National Sports Media Association. Also going to be honored tonight as the West Virginia Sportscaster of the Year, Travis Jones, and Greg Carey, the West Virginia Sports Writer of the Year. So we do retain some of this talent, Tony. Not all of it moves on to the next thing.
No, you're absolutely right. And Travis Jones could be a play-by-play announcer anywhere he wanted to be at any level. I mean, he's fantastic. And so very, very happy for him. And Greg Carey does an unbelievable job writing for MetroNews. And this is crazy. Like, I was checking in yesterday here, and I met Greg's mom. And I come to find out, like, his dad, and I told you this morning when we chatted, his dad is Jack Carey. Jack Carey is a legendary USA Today sports writer. I never knew that was his dad until yesterday. So it's in the genes for him, and I think that we're all really super fortunate that we have that level of talent, at West Virginia Radio Corporation. I mean, Kyle Weed could broadcast anywhere in the country. Travis Jones could broadcast anywhere in the country. You could go anywhere in the country and work. And so we are very, very fortunate what we have at West Virginia Radio Corporation with the guys that do games.
What's on the menu tonight?
Food-wise, I don't know. Man, it's a banquet. There's probably like a gazillion people. So I think the big goal is try to get something that's warm. Other than that, I'm not hoping for a whole lot.
Do you go out after the dinner for a better dinner? Go out.
No,
I know. Hey, let's go out.
I did that last night. So they had a reception last night. So I went somewhere after. Tonight, I'm thinking this is probably full meal. This will probably be just fine. Yeah, this will be fine. This is good. I mean, it's just seeing so many familiar faces of all these guys, especially to be here with Sean. And, in my class, it was, I guess I could say in Sean's class, it was Sean, it was me, and Greg Papa is the voice of the San Francisco 49ers. And he's the California Sportscaster of the Year this year, but unfortunately is battling leukemia and literally is battling for his life. But so he can't be here. He's in the hospital. But, to think that all three of us that were just like three college kids together, like 40 plus years later, are all here. It's a wow moment.
Why do you suppose there was that much success out of that group there, Tony?
Well, I tell you why. And so just like, for example, so when we were seniors in the junior class, Dan Horde is the voice of Cincinnati Bengals, Cincinnati Bearcats. Jim Jackson's the voice of the Philadelphia Flyers. Bill Roth was a freshman, 25-plus year voice of Virginia Tech. You know why? Because every single one of us wanted to do the same exact thing, and there was just this internal, intense, but friendly competition. And that made everybody better. Like, you could not slack because everyone was trying to do the same thing. And I think that has stood through the test of time. And I think that lesson translates in life. Like, if you put yourself around people that aspire to be elite, you will receive the residue of all of that. And I think that's why. And then it just builds upon itself, and the brand and the perception gets out there. And then, Tirico and Iron Eagle and now Noah Eagle and all of those guys, they would just keep churning. And we went there because Bob Costas went there, and Len Berman and Dick Stockton and Marv Albert. So it just feeds on itself. And when you get there, all pun intended, it's time to play ball. And I think that's what kind of makes that a pretty big incubator of guys that want to do this.
Play-by-play announcer for the West Virginia University Mountaineers. He's also one of the three guys. Don't forget, one of the three guys before the game. You can catch the podcast. New episodes posted right now at WVMetroNews.com. And add to the list the recipient of the Woody Durham Voice of College Sports Award. Tony, congratulations. Enjoy the day. Make sure Travis Jones shows up on time.
You got it. Thanks so much, Dave. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Tony Caridi with that honor. The Woody Durham Voice of College Sports Award from the National Sports Media Association. And then Travis, the State Sportscaster of the Year, and Greg Carey, Sports Writer of the Year. 304 Talk 304, that's the text line. Back in a moment.
For 30 years, High Technology Foundation has been committed to building a stronger West Virginia. Our mission, economic diversification. By fostering innovation and supporting tech initiatives, we pave the way for a brighter future. From cutting-edge research to tech-driven solutions, we're transforming the landscape. Join us in creating opportunities and driving progress. Let's build a diverse economy together. Visit WVHTF.org. High Technology Foundation, shaping West Virginia's future.
Picture a community where every space tells a story. Those are the communities we're designing at ZLM Architects and Engineers. With a blend of creativity and technical expertise, we design spaces that inspire, innovate, and ignite change. From cutting-edge educational facilities to community-centric gathering spaces, we're committed to improving lives through design. Let us help you shape a brighter future for generations to come. Because at ZLM, it's more than architecture. It's about building your legacy.
Approach your retirement with confidence. With over 150 years of combined experience, the advisors of the Stike team at Wealth Enhancement Group provide advice and wealth management strategies to individuals, families, small businesses, professional offices, and institutions. With the Stike team, you'll have access to an advising team with extensive resources, a client-first mindset, and a passion for helping transform the lives of those we serve. Visit wealthenhancement.com/Stike today and join the team that's dedicated to your success.
The Monarch Compute campus in Mason County is starting construction, and they're ready to hire. InScale, the company building the Monarch campus, is hosting a free job fair Tuesday, June 30th from noon to 7. It's at the former Mason County Armory on Ohio River Road. Employers, including Kiewit, Ames Construction, and Boyd Cat, will be on site recruiting for roles in construction and operations. Marshall, WVU, and Mount West will also be sharing information on training and degree programs. To pre-register, go to inscale.com. That's NSCALE.com. Walk-ins are welcome.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
For couples that are experiencing infertility, about half will have the male factor in the diagnosis. At the WVU Medicine Center for Reproductive Medicine, we offer a wide array of treatment options for male factor infertility. There's really no reason you would need to go anywhere else. If we can identify and treat male factor infertility, we can prevent couples from even having to go down the road of IVF, saving you potentially money and time. We're here to help build a family. We have the capabilities and we care.
5, 3. For your daily fix of sports in West Virginia, there's only one stop.
I would imagine a group of you got together and watched the Mountaineers last night. What were your thoughts on that performance?
It was funny. We were sitting with a guy last night, and he said, "All right, I'm gonna go put $1,000 on it." Well, down the stretch of that ball game, he's looking at us like, "Are you kidding me?" And sure enough, the Mountaineers came back. I saw him today. He said, "Yep, I'm putting another $1,000 on them tomorrow."
Sportsline on Metro News Television.
The best selection of WVU apparel is at Daniel's Men's Store. Exclusive designs you won't find anywhere else. Stylish, sophisticated, and unmistakably Mountaineer. Shop in store or online at danielsofmorgantown.com.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong.
MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
304 Talk 304 is the text line. 800-765-8255 is the phone number. CityNet is West Virginia's local internet provider. High-speed, reliable fiber internet is probably right at your front door. Now is the perfect time to connect. Local customer support you can trust. Perfect for working from home, streaming, or gaming. Fast, reliable fiber internet built for everyday life. When high-speed internet is what you need, CityNet.net connects, protects, and perfects. 304 Talk 304. Let me first off by saying I love radio. It's my preferred listening choice. I love morning DJs and local banner. That being said, I'm not concerned it will not be here in 10 years from now because I don't know anybody under the age of 30, or I am concerned, I beg your pardon, that listens to radio unless it is their only option. The car commercials every 6 to 7 minutes and music that is so repetitive with the same 10 artists has them looking elsewhere. They say it's actually cringy, says the texter. I don't say this because I'm in the business. I say this because I believe it. Radio will still be around. Things are going to change. Things are going to evolve. They always have. You have to be silly not to see that coming. But news, information, sports, yeah, radio's going to be around. It's not going to go anywhere. It's going to change. It's going to evolve. But don't worry. We're still going to be here. My opinion, the greatest broadcast Tony ever did was the triple overtime win against Louisville. For Tony, the only bad news that would come out of receiving this award would be Tony saying that he's going to retire soon. You can't leave Mountaineer Nation family for a long time, Tony. Congratulations. 304 Talk 304. Why would the governor spend $2 million for celebration and won't fix bridges and roads that have been washed out by floods, also getting better drinking water for communities? I don't get it. Do better for taxpayer money. That's the optics that I'm talking about. Look, we are talking about different buckets of money, to borrow former Governor Justice, now State Senator Justice's analogy, metaphor, whatever. It's different buckets, a different line item. This is coming from a specific fund that is allocated to the governors, the executive branch, for their use. It is not as though money is being taken away from those projects. That's not the way it works. Now, are the optics poor? Oh, yeah. Yeah, the optics can be poor. Sure, but like Dave Allen and I were talking about, you can go back through all of history and there will be somebody upset with the way money is being spent, saying it should have been spent in this fashion. I mean, go back all the way. Every administration. I'm sure in 1783, there was somebody going, you know what we should not be spending money on? These 4th of July celebrations. I don't know, did they have them in 1783? You get my point. 304 Talk 304. Last I checked, I got to read that one first. I'll be back to that one. K-Valley getting its own Gucci Kroger, says the texter. 304. Dave, unpopular opinion. Top Gun Maverick is better than the original. Wow. I was hesitant to watch another reboot movie, so I missed seeing it in theaters, but now regret not seeing it on the big screen. Better than the original? It was good. It was good. You know why it was good? They did the actual stunts. Those are actual planes. It wasn't CGI or any of that stuff. It was a good movie. I liked it. And probably the last good theater experience. I haven't been to the theater in a while. I'd have to think about it for a second. I just don't go. I don't go to movie theaters very often. 304 Talk 304. No Hope Scholarship that goes to all these different organizations have the weakest performance criteria they must follow. Nothing close to public schools. Parents don't even have to have a degree to homeschool. Private school teachers do not even need to be certified by the state. The legislature is giving themselves an extra pay raise. Those whose children get the No Hope is nothing more than a supplemental pay increase. Let's don't forget the legislature that run church or private schools that the employee all their family members. It's just wrong that we have taxpayers should not be paying for this runaway government program. Parents should only get tax money back that they would pay to their county boards of education, says the texter. I believe these things can all coexist. We can have Hope Scholarship. We can have school choice. We can have strong and flourishing public schools. I believe they can exist. It's a matter of priority and a matter of political fortitude to make certain the last there, and then we're talking about public schools, is on the same playing field, has the same balanced scales to work with. Right now they don't. Right now they're burdened by a school aid formula that is archaic and out of date, and not to mention the hundreds, thousands of regulation and state code that governs how the public school systems operate. That needs to be rebalanced, and not by adding more regulation on to the other schools, by taking some of this burden, most of this burden, off the public school system. Back to wrap it up in a moment.
Right now, America is hungry for energy, more power, more reliability, and more security. So here's a question worth asking. Why not coal? And why not now? West Virginia sits on one of the most abundant energy resources in the world. Generations of miners, proven infrastructure, and coal-fired power plants already delivering dependable, around-the-clock electricity. At a time when demand is surging and reliability matters more than ever, coal isn't a question mark, it's a solution. Today, there's robust support in West Virginia and Washington to strengthen American energy independence using the resources we already have. So again, we ask, why not coal? And why not now? Because when it comes to powering our homes, our hospitals, our economy, and new opportunities, West Virginia Coal is ready. A message from the Friends of Coal, powering America today and tomorrow.
Summer in West Virginia means open roads, blue skies, and endless possibilities. But if you don't have reliable wheels, getting to work or making it to a doctor's appointment can feel like an uphill climb. That's where Good News Mountaineer Garage comes in. We take donated vehicles, fix them up, and get them to fellow mountaineers who need them the most. This summer, let's keep our community moving. Donate a vehicle today by calling 866-GIVE-CAR or visit goodnewsmountaineergarage.org. Donate a car, change a life.
The Monarch Compute campus in Mason County is starting construction, and they're ready to hire. In Scale, the company building the Monarch campus is hosting a free job fair Tuesday, June 30th from noon to 7. It's at the former Mason County Armory on Ohio River Road. Employers, including Kiewit, Ames Construction, and Boyd Cat, will be on site recruiting for roles in construction and operations. Marshall, WVU, and Mount West will also be sharing information on training and degree programs. To pre-register, go to nscale.com. That's NSCALE.com. Walk-ins are welcome.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
I'm Sean Kovich, Mountaineer Golf Coach. When disaster strikes your home, business, or golf game, call the restoration company the Mountaineers call. Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration.
For couples that are experiencing infertility, about half will have the male factor in the diagnosis. At the WVU Medicine Center for Reproductive Medicine, we offer a wide array of treatment options for male factor infertility. There's really no reason you would need to go anywhere else. If we can identify and treat male factor infertility, we can prevent couples from even having to go down the road of IVF, saving you potentially money and time. We're here to help build a family. We have the capabilities and we care.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
Longer days, warmer drives, and better deals at Dan Cava GMC. Hit the road in one of our new luxury GMC Acadias. Take your pick from our massive selection. Now up to $5,500 off select new Acadias and 3.9% for 60 months. The great deals continue with our large selection of quality pre-owned vehicles. All this and more at Dan Cava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop the world.
Talk to you tomorrow at 10:06. This is Metro News Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.